Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Brandon from Audio Addiction. I took a nice needed break, vacation, whatever you want to call it. So thank you guys for rocking with me over 2023. I honestly, I made a thank you video, and honestly, there's not enough words I could put into a sentence to say how much I appreciate you guys for, supporting me. It's amazing. In February, this is gonna be 8 years doing it, so pretty wild in a month. I still haven't wrapped my head around it yet, but either way, this isn't me trying to show for me, but I do want to give a shout outs to both John and Danny. Just a little side story about them. I have known them for probably about as long as I've been doing YouTube for. Their first project, Welcome to Limerick, was like one of the first groups that I ever interviewed here on YouTube. And I've met them a handful of times over the years. In fact, they used to stay at my parents' house when shout outs to Andreas, my homie. Love that dude. Come back on, Andreas. I know you watch my stuff sometimes, so come back on. Would love to have you. But I've kind of hung out with them, met up with them. I've been introduced to other groups, Hail the Sun being another big prominent group that I was introduced through them, because just there's a whole network of people that I got introduced to because of Welcome to Limerick. So I also got to give a shout outs to their previous project. But really excited to check this out. I believe John messaged me about this. I know they dropped this new album, so I wanted to do it before I had them on, which still plan on having them on tonight at some point. So we'll figure that out. But either way, wanted to review it before I came on, and I have not listened to any of their songs at all. So this is going into it blind, completely fresh, new, all that sort of stuff. So if you like Cult Logic, I will leave a link. I have left a link to their Instagram handle. I don't know if they have anything else, but currently right now I know that's what they currently have open. So go check that out if you have not so far. But either way, we're going to get into the first song, which is kind of an interlude. This is their self-titled album as well. I know they worked with Shane from Hail the Sun, I believe, on this. They also had shout-outs to Anthony, who used to be a part of Welcome to Limerick. Also has worked with Andreas. I've talked about him a handful of times here on the show, but he's great, and I know he helped out with that as well. So in terms of other people, if they have any other people that they've worked with they want to give a shout out to, I'm sure they'll leave a comment and give them a shoot and a shout and whatever you want to call it. But either way, let's get into the interlude, see what's up. I'm very excited to get into it. John kind of prefaced this as like a post-hardcore like rock record, so very excited to jump into it. Well, and this is an interlude, so we'll see what's good with this one. So start it off. We might just jump into Fever Dream after this, but we'll see. Also, I'm like 99% sure John did all of the instrumentation for this record, which is crazy. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Give me a little taste. We'll pause. We'll pause. I think I'll talk about it a little bit. So I liked the intro. This is the interlude. We will get into Fever Dream. I won't stay on this song for well, the interlude for very long because I want to actually get into the music. But this was very cool. I like the kind of like ethereal aspect that this song brings. Again, kind of like a little post-hardcore alt like rock kind of feel, which I really love. Drumming super punchy, really aggressive. It's a little dry, which I like. I know typically most people don't really kind of enjoy that like really like dry drum sound, but I enjoy it. That's kind of something I feel like it makes the song a little bit more interesting. So I love that aspect of it. There's like a little bit of piano mixed in, which was really neat. The guitars sound like super like open, really kind of like almost aggressive in some ways. But really enjoyed this, and I'm excited because I know Danny's singing on this entire record. So I love Danny's voice. Big shout out to Danny. But yeah, I'm very excited to actually get into the meat and bones, the meat and potatoes, you know. So we're gonna get into Fever Dream, which is the first song. So but yeah, interlude, really fun. But I feel like it's a good basis point for the next songs. So let's get into Fever Dream next. Oh, okay, switched it up entirely. All right. I like that guitar pull in. Okay. Ooh, okay. Wow, this is interesting. Ooh, interesting chord phrasing. Ooh, okay. I like that guitar riff. So sick. I love all the like different instrumentation layering. Really sick. I like how this is panned. Very interesting. Ooh, okay. Good groove. Very nice. I like that. All right, guys, if you're just tuning in, that was track 2 from Cult Logic, their self-titled album. It just came out literally yesterday, so big salutes to them. If you want to go show them some more love, check the link in the description. It's to their Instagram. Go give them a follow. Go show them some love. Big salutes to the homies, John and Danny. Love those guys. But this song specifically, really enjoyed it. I think the instrumentation was what really got me about this track. I like the shakers. There was like some acoustic guitar work. Like the guitar riffs were really tight as well too. Giving me like kind of like a little post-hardcore riffage right there. So I was really vibing with that a ton. Danny's vocals are really, really to me, they are like nostalgic, right? There's something special about his vocals that I really, really enjoyed a ton. And I was really, really surprised how like texturally his voice has changed over the years, which would make sense because I've kind of known about him for quite a bit. But really, really enjoyed his vocal structure a ton in this song. So big salutes to Danny. I know he kind of did his own solo stuff for a little bit, and then now he's, in a project again, which is really cool. As well as that drumming was really tight, really in the pocket. I love that a ton. I was really kind of surprised that like the overall vibes, I felt like it kind of shifted a bit. Like some of that beginning riff, I thought it was going to be a lot heavier, and then you get to the verses and a little bit soft. It's a little bit more melodic, which was really cool. And then once you get back to the chorus, then it kind of picks up and gets kind of more in that sort of rock territory. So it was very interesting to kind of see the song like shift paces that much more so it was very interesting. As well as that, I really kind of couldn't get over the fact that it gives me like nostalgic like Seosin vibes, which I'm almost positive we talked about when I had Welcome to Limerick on like ages ago. But I know that's, I would argue, a pretty big influence on them. So to me, it was very, very cool. So I love hearing that. And I don't feel like it's highlighted a lot nowadays in terms of the types of music that's out there in post-hardcore. So love to hear that, love to highlight that. The mix was really sick as well too. I felt like it had a lot of space, a lot of movement to it. So definitely really, really cool. And again, just vibed it a lot. But I'm curious to see how much further some of these songs are kind of taken. I love the fact that one of the songs has Kurt Travis, which is like one of my favorite vocalists. So I think it's kind of a welcome addition as well too. So big salutes. Sandwich, thank you for joining me. Hey, loved your Closure in Moscow album review. I usually just chill in the vocalist Twitch chat. Anyway, I hope you're doing fine. Well, I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a great holiday as well. Shout outs to all the homies that have kind of stuck with me. I got some more heat this year, so I'm really excited to kind of bring you a bunch of new stuff. So keep posting. Very, very excited. But yeah, Fever Dream, really, really rad track. Enjoyed this one a ton. And yeah, definitely go check out Cult Logic if you haven't already. I mean, you're here, so I feel like you are. But the next song is Dark Thoughts. So let's get into this vibe session and keep it going. Ooh. I like the like minor kind of chord phrasing. Really sick. Ooh, I like this like dark undertone. Really sick. Please come to church with all the blood has taken now. Ooh. That like drum push, I love it. All right, cool. All right, that was Dark Thoughts. Let me talk about this one. Of course, that's why I'm here. I'm going to talk about this whole record. I thought this one was another really solid one. Completely different direction. I think they've been throwing like a lot of curveballs at me, which I'm pretty stoked about. This is a very interesting listen so far because like Fever Dream gave me like those like melodic kind of ethereal vibes, and this one feels like a little bit more rock, a little bit more gritty, a little darker. So comparatively, these songs feel very juxtaposed, which is very cool. I like when groups kind of have songs that are different, and that when it comes time to kind of put the album together, I'm curious how like they're all arranged. And obviously I'm going to ask John specifically about like the writing process, because a lot of this stuff, if my memory serves me correct and what I've read is correct, I think John has done like a majority of the instrumentation on the record. So for him, I know he's primarily a drummer. So I'm curious if like there was a different thought process when like writing some of this stuff. I feel like the songs are kind of written from a different perspective. Like you can almost inherently feel that the songs have a different sort of vibe to them because they're written by John, which again, a lot of his focus is the drumming. I think he's, if I'm correct, I think a lot of his styling and a lot of his writing is based off of his ability to, you know, kind of put the song together, but based on the sort of thought process of a drummer. So curious to pick his brain on that. But as well as that, I think the song was kind of like, you can tell it's like very interestingly structured. I can speak apparently tonight. But I think it's very interestingly structured, where there's like some really cool like gaps. Like the bass feels a little bit more like in your face, which I think is a nice, pleasant change from where you would typically hear a lot more like guitar work. I think there's been a lot more like antiquated space for bass to kind of appear more throughout the song, which I think is very, very interesting. And I like the fact that there's just this different vibe that is brought out within this song. I'd also say as well, too, really kind of enjoyed Danny's vocals in this song. I feel like that's going to be kind of a common thing that I'll mention a lot, but I promise to not beat the dead horse on that one. But his vocal styling, I think he got a little bit more aggressive. There was almost a part where he's almost screaming, which is really interesting. It's like that kind of like yell styling, which I really enjoy. I love when vocalists kind of push the vocals. But I've noticed something as well too. Like I know I made the comment about like how they are influenced by Saosin, but I also think equally they're influenced by like a lot of Circa Survive stuff, because I think there's a lot of cool like dark ambient textures going on in this song, that even like with the synths, like the way that the song is kind of arranged too feels very like Circa inspired. You know, I think a lot of their stuff is like really groove heavy, and I felt like this song has like a really great kind of central groove to it. So I think that there is this really cool play on both ends of the fence in terms of like that post-hardcore styling, where like some of the stuff is a little bit more like experimental, like ethereal sort of stuff, and then some of it's a little bit more like, you know, straightforward, like post-hardcore rock, all kind of feel to it. So I think they thread the needle on that really, really well. And I just kind of enjoy the vibes a ton with this song as well too. It was definitely a really fun listen, and I think this one would, same with Fever Dream. I think those two songs, those thus far, have required a unique amount of attention, because there is definitely some stuff that I know I probably missed out on. But I want to kind of delve more into, and I'm be giving this album a listen more off stream, of course. But I thought it was very interesting the way that they kind of put the some of the like vocal parts and some of the like the instrumentation. It was just really interestingly arranged in it, and I think that's kind of going to be a large standout to, I think, people that are going to check out this record, is just the way that's stylized. And this may or may not be like something that people might pick up on, or maybe it might be, but it definitely feels like it's written from a different perspective. So definitely enjoy that a ton. But the next song is track 4. This one is Tongue Tied. This one features Kurt Travis of multiple Swancore bands, Royal Coda, Dance Gavin Dance, Gold Necklace. I can name probably more, but those are the ones that are coming to my head right now. So go check them out. Really, really sick. Go check out Kurt Travis. Kurt Travis is, again, one of my favorite vocalists, so would love to have Kurt on maybe in the new year. We'll find out. But either way, we're going to get into Tongue Tied, so let's give it a listen. Okay. Oh, okay. That like pick scratch. My boy Kurt. Good feature. Oh, there's more? Okay. What? This got instantly heavier. What the hell? That how what? It got so heavy at the end. That's amazing. All right, guys, that was track 4, Tongue Tied, that featured Kurt Travis, and this is off of Cult Logic's self-titled album. You can go check the link in the description. Go follow them on Instagram. I'm not entirely sure if they have any other social media at the current time, but that was all I could find, so let me know, and I'll change it, guys. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Instagram might be the only thing they got right now. But either way, really enjoyed this. I think whenever I see the name Kurt Travis, I just swoon because I, again, love Kurt Travis. I feel like I'm not afraid to admit how much I enjoy that man, but he is great. So whenever I see a feature from Kurt Travis or him doing vocals, I'm on board. But this was a very interesting song. I think this is the one where I feel like thus far I was like, are they fully gonna invest in like do the heavy like post-hardcore thing, or like are they going to do like the more ethereal sort of stuff, or are they gonna kind of find like the middle ground? And I feel like this song specifically was kind of like that song that like feels kind of like a good mashup of both. Like in terms of singles, I'm pretty sure, let me go out, I'm curious what they had for singles here. So they had Tongue Tied as one of the singles, and then Fever Dream was one of the singles as well, and then 27 Club, which we haven't listened to yet, which we will in 2 songs from now. But that would kind of make sense in terms of like the process, because I feel like Fever Dream is like really like ethereal, really vibey, but still kind of has a lot of those sort of like rock elements, and we haven't heard 27 Club yet, so you know I don't know what the vibes are on that one. But Tongue Tied would seem like kind of I wouldn't say a left field pick, but it would definitely seem like a song that I don't feel like people would be shocked about, because in terms of like when these songs came out, I do think there would be kind of like I feel like there would be kind of thoughts all over the place on this one. So I'm curious why they had chosen what they had chosen as singles, which again I'll ask John about momentarily. But I really enjoyed this one a lot. It was a lot more aggressive, especially towards the end of the song. Really, really interesting that they went like full on the heavy route. So that was very, very cool. I like that. It was like a little bit of a breakdown moment there. So very interesting. As well as that, really enjoyed Kurt's feature. I feel like I would be remiss to say anything if I did not talk about Kurt Travis, especially him being a feature on the song. But I really enjoyed his part. I think he added enough to the song where like you can tell the difference between him and Danny's voice. But also that I like that he kind of added like a little bit of like vocal ad-libs and stuff as well. I thought that was really, really cool. It would have been interesting to have him like kind of do a little bit of the ending portion of the song. I know that probably would have just been, a little bit overboard, but I think for me it would have been interesting to kind of see how he would have like added more textural elements or like vocal layering and stuff that would have made it like just like the send off. I feel like it was kind of riding on, so that was a little bit of a surprise to me. And also I think just sonically the ending portion of this song was very interesting as well too. Not typically what I was expecting, but I think it worked really well in their favor of being kind of trying to find that middle ground of like I feel like they kind of fit the gap of like a shoegazy kind of like post-hardcore alt sort of sound, but then at the same point they have like songs that are like this that like kind of ride that line of like metalcore a little bit, just because I think like it does feel like a little breakdown-esque. So it's interesting where they're pulling these sorts of sounds from. I know that this has been a collection of songs that John has been kind of like mulling over for a little bit. So it does seem like some of the songs, like especially some of the more heavier songs, I'm curious if those were written more currently, or we'll find out certainly. But it's all speculation for me right now. But yeah, I think it's been interesting to kind of see how diverse they've decided to go, and I'm curious to see how wide of a net they're gonna try to cast on the rest of this record, because we're about halfway through. So I'm curious to see what type of vibes, what type of feelings they're gonna be giving me going further. But yeah, I thought it was really good. I thought Danny's vocals were actually really good in this as well too. But I thought this one was pretty solid. I think there was maybe like a little bit of. I think if they added Kurt on at the end, it would have been like the chef's kiss moment. But thus far, it was very good. So big salutes to Colt. I was gonna say Kurt Logic, but it's Colt Logic. So go check them out. But the next one is called Handcuffs. So let's give this one a spin. Also, I'm going to get up for like 2 seconds. I'll be right back. Ooh, heavy bass. Okay. There's no mistaking that one. This one's a heavy one. Ooh, now it's completely shifted. Okay. Big dirty bass moment. Love it. Interesting. Oh, okay. Okay. Tell me things I want to hear, my dear. You are displayed as something to behold. Your secrets show, but I won't tell a soul. Your touch, I will never feel betrayed at this rate. Ooh, I like this section. Super sick. I guess the mystery is not gone. I think they like to do heavy stuff, apparently. All right, guys. So that was track number 5, Handcuffs, off of Colt Logic. They're self-titled. Check the link in the description. I'll give them a follow on Instagram. I'm gonna keep saying it, so don't worry. This one was good. I again am been very surprised. Both Tongue Tied and Handcuffs have been the heaviest songs that I've heard from them thus far. I have a feeling there might be another heavy one, but maybe they're turning a corner. We're at the top of the mountain, and we're gonna transcend down. But I was very surprised at this one. This one got really heavy out the gate, and it kind of kept that sort of same heavy energy. But I've noticed kind of an interesting pattern with, I guess, the way that John writes specifically, that like a lot of the first part of the song is like really heavy, really aggressive to kind of like tie you in. And then the verses are really melodic and soft, and I think they offer like a different kind of like 180 in terms of like styling that I think is very interesting. And I think I think it could be definitely a hit or miss thing, because like a lot of some of the songwriting that I hear is where people want to be able to give you that like aggressive satisfaction, and they're going to be able to try to give you that sort of satisfaction throughout the entirety of the song. And I feel like sometimes it's a little bit unrealistic to have someone sit down and listen to a song in full. That's a 3.5 minute song, can be a little bit difficult. So I think by trying to get you right out the gate is really impressive, and obviously it kind of changes up the song in a unique way, but I also feel like it really kind of hooks you in that much more, because at least for me, I'm curious of whether or not they're gonna hit me with like a punch in that like pre-chorus, or they're gonna hit me in a punch with like the chorus. Like, how's it gonna go? And I think it kind of gets my brain turning where I don't know if it would get other people's brain turning. I don't know. I'm a music fiend, so I feel like it's a little bit different for myself, but would love to know what you guys think, if that's the case with you with listening to music. But yeah, I was very surprised at the arrangement of this one. A lot heavier than I feel like I would have expected from the writing process, but I think it's a welcome change, certainly. I like the way that, again, Danny's vocals kind of remind me of a little bit of a mix between like Cove, and I feel like Jesse Cash from the band Era, he has a side project called Ghost Atlas, which is kind of like, I would argue, a very good modern interpretation of what like the Saosin self-titled and like In Search of Solid Ground kind of gives me. And I think this one is like, I feel like Cult Logic is like the aggressive cousin to that album. So like if there was like a familial aspect to this, I feel like the self-titled In Search of Solid Ground is obviously the dad, and I feel like Ghost Atlas is like one of the sons that went like a little bit more melodic and kept true to the roots. And then I feel like Cult Logic is like the cousin of that album, where it's like a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more experimental, So I think that that's truly what's kind of been keeping me more grounded in this record, is like the ability to have that sort of aggressive tone, but then also to be able to reel it back and really give you a cool kind of like melodic texture that that really kind of impresses me, especially like in the verses of this song. I thought that was like one of the cooler parts, where it kind of gives you this like more expansive kind of vibey section, and I love that. You don't typically get to hear a lot more of that kind of like drivey bass, especially with like more distortion and such. So that's really, really cool, and I think it definitely makes the song a little bit more stand out, I would argue. So definitely enjoyed this one a ton. So Shaz, Handcuff, I think Handcuffs might be my favorite so far, but I'm just going to hold it in the placeholder slot, and we're going to get into the next one, which is track number 6, 27 Club. This is one of the singles. I haven't, again, to preface anybody that has just joined, I have not listened to this album. I am going through this entire album blind. So, yeah. So here we are. So let's get into 27 Club. Ooh, okay. Definitely more vibey now. Interesting. Ooh, the vocal layering on this is wild. I like that like twinkly kind of like sound. Interesting. Very ear catching. From a life that feels strange. When there's no one to blame. There's no one to blame. Interesting. Oh, I like that drum section. All right, guys, that was 27 Club off of Cult Logic. They're self-titled. If you like it, check the link in the description. Go give them a follow on Instagram, or go give them a follow on Spotify. It'll let you notify when they got new stuff. Even though this is the newest stuff, so I don't know if they have more cooking, but I'll ask. So don't worry. This song specifically, I feel like it was a little bit hit or miss for me. From what I could tell from their like Instagram story, a lot of people love this song. And I definitely feel like there's a lot of moments that I really enjoyed about the song, but I also feel like it was structurally probably the most jarring of all the songs. But also like I think it was the most straightforward, if that makes sense. So I know I feel like I'm contradicting myself, so I need to explain a little further. So I think specifically for like the way that the choruses worked, I thought they were great. I really enjoyed the chorus of the songs. The verses were very good as well too. So I don't want to discount that I didn't like the verses either, but I think there was some really interesting like structural parts where it almost feels like there should have been something there and it wasn't. And I don't know if whether or not that's intentional or not, but to me, it kind of felt like there was something missing in the song that I was kind of like hoping for, but like didn't actually come to fruition, which is totally fine. But I do feel like there is something missing for me that I was like really hoping for. And I almost thought that I got it within that like kind of like bridge section where like there was that long pause, and I was like, okay, is the song over? And like I looked down at the bar at the bottom, and I was like, wait a second, there's like a whole nother minute of this song. So I was like, wait a second, can't be that. So I was a little like, I feel like there were certain parts where I think at least in terms of that like pause, I think that could have been cut in half. I think it was a little bit too long where like I almost inherently just subconsciously was like, oh, I gotta click to the next song. It's the next song. They just left a lot of time out, and I luckily looked, because otherwise we would have missed out on like a whole nother minute of the song and probably my favorite like drum fill thus far. So it was a little bit jarring to hear a little bit more of a like succinct pause. especially because it feels so abrupt. It's like, stop. And now we're back into the song. Like, it just kind of took a little bit, it took me a little bit out of it, I would say. But like that last like chorus like section was so well done that it's like, I would be so gutted if I didn't get to hear that part. So I think for me, it was that kind of took me out, but then like that last chord brought me back in. So I think in that way it was very good, but like I do feel like there were some elemental things that were like particularly missing in the song. I will say that the vocal structuring in this song was really, really well put together. I think it was actually far better than a lot of the other songs on the album. I love the way that they kind of textured out like some of Danny's like higher vocals, especially like his higher range, and I guess getting more so into his like falsetto range. There was some really cool like vocal layering, vocal harmonies going on that I think really hit super, super well. So I love that element of it, and I'm hoping to maybe hear a little bit more of that as this album continues on. But yeah, I think that like bridge portion was like a little bit rough to sit through, and I think that if it was cut down just like a smidge more and was like a little bit more consolidated, I think it would definitely it'd still have the same like punch. In fact, I think it would have a much better punch, but as well as that, I think the song would feel a little bit more like tied in. So I think to me, this song has a lot of potential to be good, and I'm curious as to why they kind of left that gap pretty wide, because it's like a good like couple second gap. It's not like 1 second, it's like it's a good bit. So I was a little surprised by that. So I'm curious as to why they maybe have extended it for 27 Club, and considering this was probably one of the first songs, it's a little bit interesting to have something like that. The only thing that I'm thinking is if they released a music video and it has something to do with like kind of like the tie-in for that, then that would make a little bit more sense. But I think for Spotify, it would be like a little bit rough, because like you're like sitting there waiting for the next part of the song, and you're like really like vibing out with it, and then there's just like this large gap. It's like, like it doesn't make me click out of the song, certainly, but I feel like it does kind of lose its luster a little bit. So I'm curious as to why that may have occurred. But either way, the song itself was very good, and I enjoyed it for a majority of it. But I think I think if that section of gap was cut out a little bit more, I think it would have just had that. It would have had that chef's kiss moment that I think I would have really enjoyed that much more. But yeah, I think like, and I think a lot of the Cult Logic songs too have had a lot more like textural elements, and I felt like 27 Club was like a little bit bare bones. Like it was like something that was like a little bit more straightforward, a little bit more cut and dry, a little bit more like rock, a little bit more post-hardcore. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles in it, and I appreciate it for being a workhorse. But considering that I'm going through this album from front to back, it's like you get all the like the pretty bells and all the nice stuff at like the beginning of the album. You get to 27 Club, and you're like, this is like the horse that's in like the Carhartt like workman's jacket that just got off work and just has a bunch of shit like all over it. You know what I mean? Like it's a real deal thing. So I think for me that's what's kind of a little bit jarring about this song, but maybe I'll grow to love it. I think this is a sleeper song, so maybe I'll come around to it. But no diss, certainly. But we are going to move on to track 7, which is The Signs. So let's give this bad boy a spin. Oh, and a left-hand turn. All right. cool melody.
You should have to blame. It wasn't my fault. Since you ran away, the road for us is already paved. Oh, it's okay that you left so soon. It's starting to fade, the life with you that I knew so well. You saw the signs.
Oh, I like that, like, little synth textures. Very cool.
You saw the signs.
Ooh, his falsetto. Danny's falsetto is so tight.
You saw the signs. You should have to blame. It wasn't my fault. Since you ran away, the road for us is already paved. Oh, it's okay that you left so soon. It's starting to fade, the life with you that I knew so well. You should have to blame. It wasn't my fault. Since you ran away, the road for us is already paved. Oh, it's okay that you left so soon. It's starting to fade, the life with you that I knew so well.
Ooh, this ending is cool. Real ethereal. Like it. All right, guys, that was The Signs from the boys in Cult Logic off their self-titled record. You can check the link in the description if you'd like to go show them some love. It's to their Instagram. Go give them a follow. Go follow them on Spotify as well, too. I'll leave a link to that later on. But this one was good. I think this one was kind of like a little bit more vibey, a little bit more acoustically driven, of course, because there's a lot of acoustic guitar. But I think they were able to play with a lot of textural elements that that I really enjoyed, and I was kind of hoping they would delve a little bit more into this territory. It has a little bit more of like that softer rock kind of feel to it, which is really nice. I think Danny's vocals, especially more in this sort of melodic fashion that he's able to sing, I love the way that he kind of creates some really interesting melody lines. I've always really appreciated that about his vocal styling, but I felt like this song specifically had a really cool like vocal melody that doesn't feel like didn't feel like anything that I've heard recently. So it was really nice to kind of hear a little bit more of a like melodic run kind of a thing going on with this one. So really enjoyed this. The acoustic guitar was really nice. I like that they kind of like brought in some more like more like clean guitar, maybe like a little bit of light distortion on the guitar as well too. But I also think like there was some really cool like textural elements. Like I don't know if they're using like the I don't know what the drum is that you just sit on, like that looks like a box. I think it's a djembe, but I'm not 100% sure. If you know, let me know in the comments. But I think it gives a little bit of a unique texture to this song. I think there was a lot more like musical instruments that were used that that I feel like Fever Dream did a really good job of kind of tying in. So I think that the Signs do a really good job of kind of adding sort of those like unique layering techniques that I've really enjoyed throughout this entire album. But I think they've really kind of used it in more of a acoustic sort of softer song, and I think it plays off of more of the like, again, the falsetto tones that Danny does. I think it plays off more of the melodic nature of the song specifically, so it was really nice to hear a little bit of a different stretch of songs. So really enjoyed The Signs a ton, and I think this is going to be a sleeper song. I personally enjoy this one a ton. I think it's probably going to be one of my favorites. But yeah, I really enjoyed the kind of like the way that this song flowed as well too. It was really well put together. So shout outs to The Signs. one of my favorites. But we are going to move it on to track 8, which is Toxic Attachment. So let's give it a listen. Cool little delay moment. All right. Little driving bass. I like it.
Don't hold your breath, I didn't hear a word that you said. It's all in my head, I'll stay in bed for your sake. The
Interesting.
effort was never enough. When the time comes to show you some love.
Oh, okay. I love this drumming riff. Oh my god.
Not your fault, but you tell me, what do you really need? Is it me or the idea? Can we
I like the dueling vocals. Really sick.
the smoke in the air? A face control with you. Take me back to the last year.
This drum groove is so tight.
This is always how it ends. We just can't let it be. Disconnected from the start. We can never be apart. Was this your plan? Was I ever there? Tell me, is it true? You just for you while we lay. I gave it my best. We can throw it all away. Everything's getting away. I search for a reason so this can have a meaning. These things that you're feeling, can you pick up the pieces? Are breaking and folding.
Okay, okay.
This is always how it ends. You just can't let it
Oh, a little
be.
organ section. All right.
It seems for you and me. Disconnected from the start, we can never be apart. This is how it seems for you and me. This is always how it ends. We just can't let it be. Disconnected from the start, we can never be apart.
Oh, this section's so sick to end it. All right, guys. That was track 8, Toxic Attachment, off of Cult Logic, self-titled. Check the links below if you want to go show them some love. I think this is the best song. I'll straight out, right out the gate, say it. This is my favorite Cult Logic song off the album. I think it's going to be very hard to beat. I mean, My Mistake or Hindsight 2020 may beat it, but I do think Toxic Attachment was so groovy, really fun, really rough, like not rough in a bad way. Like I think it was like aggressive in like the best ways possible. I think like just the groove of the track. I think the driving bass, the drum groove is really, really tight in the song. And I think the way that Danny stylized a lot of the vocals, and this song specifically was really, really sick. Again, I know I mentioned it while I was talking about it, but I love like the the back and forth, the like dueling vocals in the verses. I thought that was really sick, and also I think there was parts in the chorus as well as possibly the bridge. But I think it was really good. The way that this song ended had like a great groove. It ended on like a really, really solid note. I feel like the song took off and it just kept going, and I love that. Just because I think the energy was super high already, and just kind of continues on with that sort of great energy. So Toxic Attachment is my favorite song. I think if My Mistake or Hindsight's 2020 beat it out, that's amazing. But I feel like Toxic Attachment is my numero uno right now. So speaking about My Mistake, we are going to get into that one right now. So let's give it a listen.
I don't wanna be the one to tell you I'm fucked up. Lost
Okay.
and alone. So many things I've done that I'm not proud of. To tell you I made a mistake. I misbehave. Is that my way of telling you that it's a game? I'm your favorite mistake. Aren't I? Okay, I'll take you for
Okay.
granted. Tear me apart for what? More attention. Inaction says more than my mouth does. A happenstance is what I was made of. I don't wanna be the one to tell you I'm fucked up, lost and alone. Too many things
Ooh, cool melody.
I'm not proud of. To tell you I made a mistake. I told you in life I was enabling. Too many drinks and I start rambling. Cross your T's, I dotted your I's. Would you prefer a suit and tie? Said I lied. Are you mine? I can't find the words. It's difficult to look you in the eyes. Always knew from the moment I met you. Too many ways to split your heart. So many more to get back at you. This is how we fell apart. I don't wanna be the one to tell you
I like this
I'm fucked
synth
up,
etherealness.
lost and alone. So many things I've done that I'm not proud of. To tell you I made a mistake. I don't wanna be the one to tell you I'm fucked up, lost and alone. So many things I've done that I'm not proud of. To tell you I made a mistake. I don't wanna be the one to tell you I'm fucked up.
Cool vocal layering as well. Really nice.
Things I've done that I'm not proud of. To tell you I made a mistake.
Interesting. Okay. Really kind of ethereal synthy overlays. So I like it. All right, guys. That was track number 9, My Mistake. This song was very interesting. I would kind of put it in a similar category to that of The Signs. It was definitely like a more softer, like ethereal, acousticy, like I wouldn't say ballady, but like definitely more like softer sounding. And especially with like the first half of this album being pretty like aggressive. It's interesting to see like probably like the latter half of this record become a little bit more melodic, a little bit more varied. So it's cool to see kind of like the changes of musical seasons. It's very interesting to see kind of how all of these songs are tied together. I'm curious how and when these songs were written, but to me it feels like this one and the Signs were kind of written around a similar time, so it'd be very interesting to know if that wasn't the case. But I think for me it was like this kind of feels like the next step that I feel like if the Signs was to have like a sequel song, I feel like My Mistake would be a very good like sequel-esque song. I think it really works with the like the synth textures going on in the song. I think Danny's vocals really kind of are a really shining factor in this song as well too. But I love like the acoustic vibes. I like the like a little bit more chill, like softer kind of feelings that this song brings. I do like the Signs more in terms of like structurally and like the way the song is, but I think My Mistake is a very, very close second in terms of like the softer vibes that Cult Logic is bringing. So very, very cool. Definitely a song that I feel like I would love to give more listens. There's definitely like some more musical nuances that I feel like I pick out every time after I'm finished listening to it, but I felt like this one was a very cool kind of like vibey sort of song, so definitely like it. But we're going to move it on to the last track 10, Hindsight's 2020, and this features Sweet Light, so let's give it a listen. Also, I don't know who Sweet Light is, so we'll have to find out. Interesting. I'm curious how they're going to tie that in. I feel like it is. I love this pre-chorus. Ooh, okay. In the end, it's our conclusion. You ask me, I'll make this promise too, that I'm here for now, so make it something new. You ask me, tell time we were broken, make us who we are, don't ever look back. Very interesting, okay. This must be Sweet Light. Ooh, okay, they'll like tie in a little bit from the beginning. We Oh, I like the vocal changes. Really sick. All right, guys, that was track 10, Hindsight's 2020, from Cult Logic, and this one features Sweet Light. It's off their self-titled Cult Logic, so go check it out. I thought this one was very interesting. To be completely transparent, I wasn't sure where it was gonna go. I thought this was gonna be like kind of like a really like long ethereal outro to the album, so I'm glad it was more of a concise song. I thought it was very interesting. I still think it was like maybe a little bit of a rocky start for myself, but and I made some faces where I was like, "Where is this gonna go?" I'm curious. So there's definitely some moments throughout this song where I was like kind of scratching my head a little bit and trying to figure out how it works. I think they did a great job of kind of integrating that like really interesting synth line into the song. I thought that was really well done. At first, I wasn't sure how they were going to do it, but I think they did a pretty cool job of putting it more in like a pre-chorus kind of mode where you're like, oh, I remember that part. That's really cool. I like that they kind of integrated that in. But overall, I think it was just a really solid song. I think there was definitely something missing, at least for me specifically. It just was like, it was like missing some parts where I feel like it could have been a little bit more driving or a little bit, especially towards the end of the song. I feel like they could have just like, they could have really like punched it and had like a really like strong, heavy, ending to the song. So to me, I think it could have been accentuated just a little bit further, but overall I enjoyed the vibes that Cult Logic brought through this album. I think my personal favorite songs off the album, I would say, is number 1, Toxic Attachment. I feel like that's the number 1 song for me. Number 2 would be Handcuffs. Really enjoyed that one a lot. I think that one is my second favorite. I would probably put Signs at number 3, being my third favorite song off the record. I would probably put Fever Dream. I really enjoyed it. I think it starts off the record off really strong. And then I probably, at last, or my fifth pick, I would probably put My Mistake. I think it rounds out kind of like a good top 5 for me, and just kind of gave me some really cool vibes throughout. So if you do enjoy Cult Logic, again, check the link in the description. It's to their Instagram. I'll leave a link to this album as well in the description as well once this fully goes live. And then as well as that, go show them some love. If I have any other social media links, I'll link them in the interview as well as this once I get them. So check out Cult Logic. Really, really cool. And shout outs to the boys, John and Danny, for letting me do this. So big salutes to the homies. Love those guys. So go check out Cult Logic, and I'll check you guys in the next one. Thank you for joining me. Peace.